name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, don't forget you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, plus give me a thumbs up, and you can also leave a message down below, beep, 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 and you can share my videos with your family, your friends. Don't forget to ring the notification bell, and you can check out my playlist. Plus, you can find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. Hello, beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is. Woo! Isn't this beautiful? Look at this back here. Isn't this beautiful? I'll just do that again. Woo! Wait, I gotta get the phone. Woo! Slow motion. I'll tell you what, this is so beautiful. And what a way to spend my Christmas day is out here in nature. This is what it's about. This is breathtaking out here. I have a hard time when I get out here to even go anywhere because I'm so blown away by the beauty of these beautiful trees. So anyway, I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is. And so I'm gonna jump right in, and I hope everybody's having a beautiful day. Though I want to say that, I don't know if you celebrate Christmas. Starlight celebrates Christmas, about God, about Jesus. I'm not into the Santa Claus and all that stuff. But if you are, hey, you know what? And do what you do. And so I love you no matter what. And so now, now I'm going to get into this video is, what are you leaving behind in 2025 to move and shift into 2026? So what are you leaving behind? So this video is about, and just like even having full moons and stuff like that, it's about letting go of things, letting go of things that no longer serve us. And so think about the things that, aren't serving you now and that you might want to let go, for, to make space for 2006. So it's so important to, to have a plan, to have things, even though it's so important to stay in the present moment right now, but just, if you got plans, if you got, future plans, and, how are you gonna, just like when I used to make arts and crafts, even like when God actually, created planet Earth, there was a vision, there was, God, had a vision, and and then created. You can't just have a blank, like a piece of paper, like if you're going to draw something. Have you ever done that before? Is you want to draw something, and it's a blank drawing piece of paper, and is that what your 2026 is going to look like? Is that blank piece of paper? Don't you got to put something down on there, to create? And that is, we are all creators. I used to read that part in the Bible over and over and over again, and God created the heavens and the earth. And and I'm like, we are, we have God in us, and we are, I would say Heavenly Father, the universe, we're all connected. We have God in us. And so we are creators just like our Heavenly Father, like the universe. So what are you, letting go of? Is there things that you've been struggling with in 2025? And, there's times that, we have to get hit hard so many times over and over again. And, to where that's the universe working on you and showing you things that you need to let go of, and, I used to be called a slow learner when I was in school, but we all can be slow learners at time, in reality here, as far as learning to be human out in this planet Earth, is, repeating the same mistake over and over again. And Starlight was doing that, even editing. And, I was like trying to figure something out, and I just kept on doing the same thing, getting the same results. Isn't that insane? And I wasn't getting anywhere. So is there something in your life right now that in 2025 that it could be, for example, the kind of people that you have, what kind of people do you have in your life? And are you, like, this is how it goes, is there's times we have people in our life and we're not happy though. It's like you could be with a lot of people and still be lonely, and it's because that energy, those people don't align with you and don't, and so even though you can spend time with people, it doesn't mean that you're actually happy, being who you are as a person, so as being, being happy with that kind of company that you have in your life. So we got to, first realize, just like what I was doing yesterday, I kept on, man, it took me a long time to figure something out, not realizing I just kept on repeating the same action over and over again. And it was something so simple, but I was making it difficult. I was making it difficult. It didn't have to be that difficult, but I was making it that difficult. So there's times that, you might be around people and you realize that, I really don't have anything in common with these people, and I don't really even like, the things that they talk about, and, getting to know the people, you realize that we don't have anything to talk about. We don't have anything in common. And a lot of times people get desperate to spend time with people, even though they don't resonate with that person. And, it's time to let go of people that don't serve you. It's time to let go of people that you have nothing in common with. What is your conversation about? What are you talking about? Are they actually helping you to grow? Are they helping you? Are they on the same path as you? So letting go of people, and sad to say, we're going to be tested, like in the Bible times, Job, wow, we're always being tested, a lot of people though, they get lonely, and they feel like they got to really be around these people. And do you really need to be around those people? Do you really need to be around those people? Don't get so desperate that you end up, being miserable. It's better that you spend time alone with yourself and enjoy your own company than to be around people that you don't even enjoy the company. So what are some things that you need to let go of? And it could be relationships, it could be loved ones. Isn't that something? Because like even in the Bible times, we're going to be tested. You got to watch out for the ones that are closest to you. I'll tell you that. The ones that are closest to you. You might not even be aware of it right now, because I'll tell you what, I had a light bulb moment last night, because of these holidays. And I have people that I love them. Boy, do I love them. But you know what? Because we're in this stimulation, in this matrix, there's going to be loved ones that we have in our life that, there's times we might put people on a pedestal and give them a lot of credit for where they, who they are and what they're doing in their life. But even people like that, they could be tripping us up, or they could have been being used throughout our life to actually pull us back into the matrix, like, celebrating, Christmas with Santa Claus. There's people, you might have people that you want to let go of things, but they're pulling you back into things that you're trying to let go of. But you love these people. You're like, I love you. It could be your family. It could be a friend, so you really do. You got to really be picky at the kind of people that you spend time with, as far as talking with and having conversations with, and what are they doing, and it's something is that I had a light bulb moment. I'll tell you what, bam. And that's part of this matrix, is when you start waking up and you start realizing, how this matrix is that it will use people that you love, and that people that, you love them, but guess what? You're not on the same, like right here, you're not on the same path, There's people out there, they're serving two gods, they're serving two masters, they're not even aware of it. These people, they're not even aware of what they're doing, and they don't even realize the people they have in their life are tripping them up. They're tripping them up. They have people in their life that are tripping them up, and they can't see it yet. There's people that are serving money, like a god, and they just keep on wanting more and more and more, and they're never really satisfied with really what they have, and they just go out and buy more and more and more materialism. So you got to watch out for that stuff. On this journey, what God has been doing? God has been blessing me with what I need. It's not all the things about what I want. It's more important of what I need. What does Starlight need? What do you need? All that other stuff, a lot of times, it could be something that you're showing off, a show and tell kind of thing. Hey, look what I bought. We need clothes, we need shoes, we need food, we need water, we need somewhere to sleep. We need a place to sleep, a place to live, So what are some things that you need to let go of? How about jobs that you're not happy with, And I see this a lot in going around to different stores or gas stations where, people are miserable at their jobs. And when you walk in there, the energy sucks. There's nobody's being friendly. They have a hard time even saying hello to you. So there's people out there, but they will keep on punching that clock. They'll keep on returning to that same job that they don't like. So you got to really be careful of that, is that job worth hanging on to? Are you completely happy with the job that you have? Is it something that you need to let go of? How about some of the food that you're eating, Are you having a hard time, and this is another thing with the holidays. This is another one of those traps that you got to watch out for. You get Thanksgiving, and that's when, a lot of people start eating a lot of food. People end up starting to gain weight. They end up eating things that they normally wouldn't eat. Hang on, Starlight's going to turn around. I had to see that sign. So are you going to let go of food that's no longer serving you? What is it? There's things that you need to let go of. How about like in your house? Are you collecting too much stuff? And you have so much stuff, you don't even have room to put any more stuff because you got so much stuff. Well, there's times that we gotta let go of stuff, things in your house. Are you holding on things that people might have gave you? I'm actually gonna go this way. Are you holding on to things, maybe in the past somebody gave you something? Maybe in the past that somebody gave you something and it's got some bad energy in it. Are you hanging on people's items? Maybe it's an ex, you're hanging on the gifts that they bought you. It's not really good to hold on to those old items, these old that an ex gave you or some toxic person that gave you a gift. Those are good things to let go of because they hold energy in your space. And believe it or not too long ago, somebody gave me a coin, and it was a buffalo penny, or not nickel, and they said, here, and they acted like it was a really old penny and it would have been worth a lot of money, and so it's kind of weird, and I'm not really a person to take anything from anybody as far as, like items, because I know energy, and but I wasn't really thinking a lot on that, I wasn't really deep thinking about really what they gave me, and so because I didn't really know if this nickel was worth anything or not, and it was a homeless person. It's kind of weird, because I'm thinking, if this was worth a lot of money, why doesn't he go out, and get the money for it, being that he's homeless? But you got to be careful, because there's people that have spirits in them, and it could have some kind of, energy even into a nickel, and you wouldn't even think it. And so I took that nickel and I put it in my purse, and I put it in a little secret little pouch. That way I wouldn't accidentally spend it with my other money. What money? No, I am rich and I am abundant. But, and it's funny. 2 days later, I get a message from the universe telling me that, Starlight, you have something that is with you, and you got to let it go. You got to let it go. And I was thinking, what do I have? What is it that the universe is telling me I got to let go of? And I have other stuff that I did receive from people. It was gifts, a speaker and a microphone, and I'm thinking, it can't be that, because, I've had that in my car for almost a month now, and, and I just received that nickel from this homeless man, and that I gave this homeless man a lot of stuff, a lot of food, a lot of odds and ends to help him out, and then I realized that, that homeless man that I've been helping out, he's been lying to me, from day one. He's been lying to me, making up stuff, and I realized it. And so, I got rid of that nickel that the universe was letting me know, you better let go of that nickel, because it was holding energy. And if I didn't let go of that nickel, then I was going to lose stuff, my possessions. I was going to, things, like blessings maybe that God has for me, is that God, by having the energy, because there's spirits out there, is that they might want to have what you have. And that energy, by me holding it in my purse of all places, where, maybe the things that God's going to bless me with, those blessings are going to get removed, because that nickel is holding an energy of taking things away from myself. So I'll tell you what, when I got that message, that number, and that message that I found online, I was driving my car, and I'm like, you know what? I'm throwing this nickel right out of my window as I was driving. I didn't care. I'm like, I'm getting that nickel right out of my pocketbook. No, I'm not gonna, And when I took the nickel, my intuition said, Starlight, don't take that nickel. Don't, put that away. But I didn't listen to my intuition. My intuition was telling me not to take that nickel. So you do really have to be careful of things, like if a person that you used to spend time with, and you had a hard time with that person, and they gave you gifts, you got to let those things go. Those things can really trip you up. And how about not only about letting go of things and people, how about an old version of yourself? There's times that we got to let go of an old version of ourselves, an old identity that we think is us, that you might think is you. You got to let go of an old version of yourself. And that it can feel scary at times, letting go of who you think you are. But when you do, you'll realize that wasn't who you really are anyway. It's something that, it's someone that you once was. And there is levels to this as far as, having versions of yourself, so that you got to let go of old versions. The way you think, your old thoughts. You got to let go of old thoughts and old patterns that you're holding on to, old belief systems. As I've been going on this journey here, wow, things that I used to think, it can really get you upset when your whole life you believed these lies. And the more the universe, it's crazy. It's like it's hard to explain how this feels, is when reality starts sinking in and you start understanding things that you could have been lied to by your parents, the school system, churches, and all that stuff, all these different lies, the government, the news, and then you realize all this stuff was just a lie. The kids, the public school, they're being programmed. It's a control program, to control them and to program them. And that is why they really try to enforce kids to stay in school and get their GED or high diploma, to keep them in there longer, and so they can program them even longer. Which Starlight is actually, I thought I was missing out, not going to high school, which I couldn't stand school anyway, but I wasn't really missing out. God was actually protecting my ass, so I wasn't getting more programmed like everybody else. So you gotta let go of those beliefs that there's a lot of lies, and it's all connected with other things, so you got to be careful of the things that you might believe is true. You got to question everything. Is it really true? Is that just another lie? Because it's sad when you go through this and you realize that's another lie, and there's another lie that isn't even true. And it's really, right now I question things about the Bible. I question things, like what is real, what is not, and everybody can take that Bible and twist it and make it say something it doesn't. So you got to really question everything that you've been programmed to believe is true, and that's what is going to help you to get through 2026, is letting go of those deep-rooted programs that even at the church that you've been told, and how they, like what they told you. There's so much I need to learn, and finding out what the truth is. That's what I am. I'm a truth seeker, and I'm asking God, please, give me the bitter truth. I'm tired of the lies. I don't want to, believe in these lies anymore. So besides letting go of old beliefs, how about, your attitude and how you, are you always negative? Not trusting in things? Are you, always complaining about stuff, and not acting like, like every day is a bad day, Have you ever asked somebody, hey, how's your day going? And they go, oh, it's just another day. Those are the people that you gotta run from, It's just another day. Merry Christmas. I don't celebrate Christmas, but you got to enjoy the days that you have and be grateful for the days that you have. And so if you are having a hard time about being positive and not complaining about things, those are things that we need to let go of for 2026. So when we have a nice clean slate, letting go of complaining, letting go of, bad talking yourself, letting go of judging other people, letting go of criticizing people, letting go of thinking you're always right when you're not, It is, we all go through this. We got to let go of thinking that we're always right. It's okay that you're wrong, because we've been lied to, So don't beat yourself up. Those are things that you got to let go of for 2025 to make a better 2026. So I love you so much. Let go of those old programs. Let go of those beliefs that you believed your whole life was true. It's a painful thing. Believe me, it's a painful thing when you're like, you got to be kidding me. They're using my whole family against me to try to pull me back, to try to stop me from what God is actually, what? What the heck? And that's why you got to be wise. You know, they could be your family, they could be your friends, it could be your husband, it could be your wife, it could be your mom, it could be your dad, your daughter, your son, you know, your grandkids. You know, this matrix here, it will use anyone. And so there's times we got to let people go. We can love them from a distance, you know, love them from a distance, say, I'm here for you, but you know what? We're not going in the same, you know, on the same path. I see that you know, my path is, I'm still going here. You're, where did you go anyway? You went somewhere. So let them go, you know. So I love you so much. I really hope you get a lot of help. So there's a lot of letting go to get shifting over to the 2026. So what are you willing to, you know, work on? What are you willing to let go of for, you know, to get ready for a better and brighter 2026? And it's all mental. It's all, you know, how you perceive it, how you look at it, how you mentally think about it. If you think, oh, nothing, you know, it's just another year, well, then that's what you're going to get. It's just another year. I'll tell you what, I believe a lot of great things are going to happen for me. And, you know, I've been doing the groundwork, you know, laying my foundation down, getting things all set, you know, and it takes time. You can't be in a rush for doing that stuff. You got to really make sure you got everything all set up so you have a strong foundation. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, plus give me a thumbs up, and you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. Plus, you could share my videos with your family or friends, and don't forget the notification bell, and check out my playlist. And you can also find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. Thank you for watching. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, give me a thumbs up. And you can leave me a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. Plus, you could share my videos with your family or friends. And don't forget the notification bell. And check out my playlist. And you can also find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. Thank you for watching. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace.